It's time, baby. Look at, they know. They know. There's stream alerts. They know. They know. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you're ready for the main event. Standing in at 3'2", weighing in 72 pounds, Josh Answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited. It is time for Philo. So I got a quick one for you, but please let's get right into it. Before we do so, let me give you guys the disclaimer. And the disclaimer is, if you're not interested in personal development concepts, anything but live 24-hour stock market news and trades brought to you by Carl's Jr., you're not going to like this moment, unfortunately. So I like to give you this warning. And again, if you don't like Philo and you didn't like the credit spreads, just please, I honestly, at this point, you're asking for a lot, and I don't know what you're looking for. Just tell me what you want at this point, because, geez, it can't be 24-hour trades, okay? That's it. It's not. But we don't want you to waste your time here. It's simple as that. If you don't like these concepts, I don't want you guys to, be in a place where you're not going to benefit off it. We do this because it helps us. We use it personally. We bond with it. We learn from it. It's a great reminder. I think it's always related to success in business. I mean, that is my main focus. So at the same time, though, I don't want to mislead you. I don't want to push anything on you. If you do not want to be here, you don't be here. That's simple as that. Come back in 10, 15 minutes. We'd love to have you. However, I do encourage you to stay. And if you feel the need to tell people you're leaving, you're going to get banned, because at that point, again, the insecurity, you're just trying to who's with me? Nah, it's nobody. It's okay. They already left. They get it. They know I'm very annoying. So we love you. Thank you for being here. But for all my beautiful people, all of my beautiful people, I love you all. You like the Philo. I hope you're ready. I hope all of them have been getting you ready. And yeah. I have a few things. Okay? I have a few things. And I'll start with the first one. My mom told me this one when we were talking the other day. And it kind of relates to a lot of stuff. I mean, it relates to just what we know and what we don't know, our attitudes. And honestly, you're going to, big disclaimer right now. I'm going to take it real religious real quick, and then I'm going to fall back from it, okay? But what I'm saying, and it's only religious because I just love, I love God. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is God be the glory, and God is very, very powerful. And I mean, I say that because I don't know. Do some of you, I don't know what some of you believe. You believe it. Some of you don't believe. But, there's a reason why I back what I back. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I was thinking about that. There's a reason why I don't support these politicians. There's a reason why I don't do certain things. It's because, if I said it even with my mom, when she said that stuff yesterday, I said, if I'm going to back, if I'm going to say this is God, it's going to be God. You see what I'm saying? I want to be aligned with the number one, the best thing ever. That's how I view it. And now, let me just tell you the phrase to give you something to think about. But the key to it is this concept. Have you ever heard this it says it in the Bible. I don't know if any of you have heard this, that the devil trembles at the name of the Lord, or in the presence of the Lord. The devil will tremble. Have you guys ever heard that? That sound familiar to you guys? Isn't that funny? I think it is. Think about that. The devil trembles in front of the Lord. In front of the Lord. He gets scared because the Lord is powerful. Why would he be scared? You see that? He knows. You wouldn't be scared of something you didn't know. He knows who God is. He knows the power. He knows what he could do. Even every example in the Bible with a demon, a spirit, anything, they would all go crazy, but they would fear him. They would leave. They'd be like, oh crap, I'm out. I'm dipping. Okay. Simple as that. So here's the simple point. Think of us as humans, all of us. Why is in this day and age, I say God, literally, how many people will come in here every single time we start philo? Why do I even have to ban anybody? Why do people, you know how many people today, you guys will go and you'll talk smack on God. You know, think about it. You won't even care. You'll say God is this. You'll say all sorts of things. People behave in a certain way. Think about that. So why, do you get the concept? The devil is scared of God. The devil is terrified, but we as humans are not. So what does that mean? Let's see. Anybody? Can you connect the logics? We are not evil. That's good. I like that. We need to humble ourselves, maybe. I like it. There it is. It means we're ignorant to his power. Most of us are. Think about it. Why do we get worried? Why do we doubt? Why do we get angry? Why do we act some certain ways? We don't get what we want. We get anxiety. We're sitting like, oh, that's what's going to happen. You're in a situation, whatever it may be. Think about it. Where a lot of us, that's the lack of faith or whatever it comes down to, but it's not knowing. Most people don't know the power of God. That's why I was like, why do you think I believe in what I believe? I don't even fully know it. That makes sense, though. So I think it's pretty crazy. Isn't it right? Isn't that wild that the devil shakes at it? Literally. But not us. Because we don't know. If you really knew, that's why I love God in that sense too. It's free will. Because if you really saw God's power, it wouldn't be free will at that point. Like if you saw somebody turn water into wine, you saw the spiritual realm and all of that stuff, you would have no choice to believe. You would be so scared that you'd be like, dude, what the hell is this? This is crazy. You'd be like, wow, there is something out there. Holy crap. Yeah, you would bow down. 100%. 100%. So I thought that part was interesting. Okay? So that's the first thing I want to talk about. That's the first thing. I'm just giving you that as a little reminder. Okay? So keep that with you. And just think about that concept. And just think, both positively and to avoid anything negatively. That there's something powerful. There's something there. You know what it is. And just imagine accessing that. That's crazy. But then also at the same time on the back end, humble yourself and don't get into problems, out of ignorance, you wouldn't know any better, right? But you know what I'm saying. However, now there's two things I want to talk about. The main thing we're going to talk about is the trimming, but it goes hand in hand. I want to talk about trimming and development. And both of these, I've talked about these a while ago. So this is going to be kind of a refresher, but I think this is a great reminder. And lately, I've been getting excited about this. I've been liking it more than ever because I'm seeing it in other ways and I'm able to interpret it a lot better than I have. I just feel a lot more on top of it. And let's talk about development. I mean, shit. I said this, I think, during the TLT one, but all of you guys are into development, right? I mean, all of you are trying to develop yourself. Is anybody not trying to develop themselves in here? I guess that's a better question, really, because I don't know what you're doing. I'd be very fascinated to know. Like, is anybody not trying to develop into something better? Like, honestly, Like, that's why, like, anybody who throws shade sometimes, I'm like, why? Like, you didn't click on this video with this, like, I'm sure you want to get better at something. I'm sure you want to learn and you're trying, like, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that funny? So, development is key. We all want it. We all want to get bigger. So now this is the story of the camera picture. All of us have a goal, a vision. You have a picture of it, right? Some of you have a plan. God has a plan. You know where you're going to end up. You know, and I encourage you to remember, build that structure. Tell me where you're building that staircase. Focus on it. That's where you're going to go. That's your picture. So then what happens during development, though? What happens when, you know how they used to develop a picture back in the day? This is the example I gave. You take a picture, and then what would they do with the picture? Remember, you had to take the film, and you take it out, or a disposable camera. Yeah, what would they do? They put it in a dark room. Have you guys ever heard of a dark room? They put it in water. But the part about development is you got to stick it in this dark, dark room. You have to develop it in the dark. Did you guys know that? What happens now if there's light in the room? What happens if you put light to it too early? It gets messed up. You ruin it because of exposure. How it was exposed. Isn't that funny? So let me just tell you two factors. Keep it simple. You guys are all developing. You want to develop. Some of you are entering different levels of your goals, wherever you want to go. But two factors of development is a dark room and exposure. Those are the two things you guys are going to go through in your life. And some of you now are in a dark room, but you don't know you're developing. So what are you trying to do? You're stuck in this dark room. You think it's a dark room. You don't get it. Things aren't happening how you wanted. It's not like this. You feel sad all of a sudden with COVID, all of that. You're sitting in this dark-ass room. You're actually being developed. That's why we said yesterday, every single day I told you guys, I love Kyle too, listening to him yesterday. Said you guys are all sitting there and like you're working. You're on the grind. Every day you wake up and you may not have gotten a little better. Like you may have gotten a little better, but it's not no real change. You're in a dark room. For real. But you need darkness to develop. You need to be in a dark room to develop. Otherwise, that picture is not going to come out right. Promise you. So now you're in this dark room. Some of you were trying to run outside to get light. Boom. You overexposed yourself. Overexposure, I love the irony because overexposure is literally a direct finance term. We talked about it a few hours ago, explaining the risks of the long term and our extra deposit. Overexposure. So these are the two things. I want to keep it simple for you. I really do. So because I want this to stick with you just like the catfish one. Simple. Development is in a dark room. Sometimes, pretty much what I'm asking you is your dark place that you're in right now, are you being buried or are you being planted in that darkness underneath the ground? What's going on there? Are you really in a dark room or are you getting developed right now? And now, be careful of what you expose yourself to. That means your exposure, I want to do this. Are you going to put everything out there? Be very, very careful. Some of you haven't been exposed enough. And that's the whole point. Amen, God's plan. That's why some of you made a lot of money, then you lost money, but then now you're slowly building it back up again. Because that's how the exposure happens. It's little by little. It doesn't mean no light is ever going to come in. But the process of developing the picture, little light at a time. It slowly gets there. But if you expose too much too quickly, the picture's ruined. So some of you guys in this dark place, be careful. Try to recognize the development and where you're at in that stage. Because if you try to get exposure too fast, it's going to mess up the picture. That's it. It's really going to mess it up. You know what it's going to look like. We know it the long term. Honestly, I need you to believe it now. Like if you think positive, richest man of Babylon, but mainly Earl Nightingale. Even the Bible itself, ask and you shall receive. If you know what the picture is going to be, if you believe it, that's it. You know it. So now if you're in this dark room, it's not coming to fruition as you see, but you're being developed. It's on you to handle that development stage. It's on you to not get overexposed or overexpose yourself or get out of the environment that you need to allow you to develop, literally develop. Because if it doesn't develop properly, you know what happens, right? You could kind of see the picture still. It's overexposed, but you could kind of see it. You could see a little bit, but depending on what happened, you'll see a little bit here, you'll see some of the picture, but it's not the full picture. You'll get a little bit of what you wanted, but it's not everything. Honestly, that's what happens with a lot of people. You go and you chase money, thinking it's going to, change everything in your life. I mean, imagine being so poor, all you had was money. That'd be crazy. Like, you could still see the picture a little bit, but that's not the full scope of life. That's not the full scope of everything. It's really not. It's part of it, a big part. Don't get it twisted. But at the same time, that's not the full picture. So, recognize your dark room, my friends. Recognize that you're developing. And now recognize, too, that the exposure is going to come at the right time. And the key isn't just about getting exposed. The key isn't just about getting into the stocks. It's about the timing in it. Time in the market. That's why I get the long term. But it's when the time is right, the picture's going to come out amazing no matter what. But overexposure, trying to get out of that dark room or going for the light or doing anything, be crazy. Be crazy. Now, again, don't use this. I'm not encouraging you to wallow in your development room. I'm not encouraging you to say nothing is going to get better and sit there complacently and do nothing. That's not what development is. It's really, really not. And I hope you know that. This requires positivity. I mean, it's exciting. Back in the day, I don't know if you remember, when you would take pictures on these fucking cameras, 11, you would be excited. I would be excited to go to CVS and wait for my picture. Even though I had to wait, you would be excited. You would be positive. Oh, I get to see my memories. I get to do this. I get to do all this. And that's what's happening. But some of y'all are still getting pissed off that you're in the development room. But nah. Or some of you wallowing in it. Nah. Be excited. Be positive. You know what the picture is. Now it's like, oh, it just has to happen. But don't try to get the picture early. Maybe you'll get it early, but if getting it early requires someone saying, just turn on the lights, don't do it. That's why get-rich-quick schemes. That's why people prey on people in certain situations, because they're like, you're in a dark room. Oh, just flip the lights. It's so easy. All you got to do is this. Just flip this, get the light. Boom, you're out of that situation. I think it's funny. So, keep all that in mind. Development, dark room, and exposure. Okay? Now let me give you the last one. Similar concept, a little bit different. It says it in the Bible, but this concept of just the plants, I like it. And it's going to be trimming the tree. And it's funny because this is a concept in nature, but this concept of how plants and trees are used throughout the Bible is crazy because you see it everywhere. The analogy is so pervasive. With the tree that we say, like you're branched, you're grafted into me. He'll say, I'll easily cut it off, cut the bad fruit off of the tree. And that's what it is. Again, this has to do with the dark room. Because some of you guys, I want you to understand another factor to growth now. It's another factor to development. but I can't talk to you about this. I mean, maybe this will just help you sit in the development room. I really, really hope it does. But it's hard to laugh because, like, most people don't see this. It's so cliche, but it's not, because it's just hard to accept sometimes. But I hope, but nature shows it. The trees everywhere show it. It's the trimming of a tree that produces growth. And pretty much what I'm trying to say is that all of your growth, a big event in your life, a big change in your life, what is it going to be preceded by? Trimming the tree. And some of you, I'll tell you this right now, you're not going to get any farther than you are until you trim that tree. You know that, right? So some of you want to get a lot more. What should you be expecting? I'll wait. I want all of this. I want to be a millionaire. I want a property. I want this. What should you expect then? Something bad is going to happen. You're going to call it bad, but it's going to be the tree getting trimmed. You're going to have to get trimmed before you could grow. They're going to cut you before you could grow. You're going to experience a little bit of pain. Sometimes when a tree gets trimmed, it gets shocked. Yes. See, what does trimming the tree mean? Amen. Cutting it back. That's what you do. Sometimes on a tree, what do you start to do is, as it starts growing, the branches that are smaller, they don't have the exposure to the sun, or maybe they're just not doing good. They're just not as much. You cut them. And you shave them off the tree. You snip them. You prune it. So then that way, all of the energy from the soil, it goes to the branches that are working. It goes to the branches that are already growing. So that's why some of you guys, you're going to cut the bad fruit off of the tree. It says it in the Bible. Some of you are leaving bad fruit on your tree. You got to trim it. Some of you don't want to give up little branches in your life. You got to cut it. And then some of you are going to have things happen to you. And you're going to be sad because you lost this branch. You thought this was so important to you. You thought you were good forever. You thought it was good. And you thought it was a bad thing, but actually, without that getting cut, you wouldn't have the energy necessary to keep growing at that next level. Because sometimes trees won't get bigger, or they'll develop a lot more inefficiently if there's a bunch of wasted branches still hanging to the tree. That's why God himself even said, he says, you become one with me, I will graft you into the tree. If you can't follow, I'll cut you off from it just as easily. Because there's no time for that. Nobody has any time to focus on these branches that aren't producing the most. But essentially, this is just what I'm trying to tell you, man. Honestly, the best thing to tell you right now is all I'm trying to explain it. It's really, I'm not the one to tell you which tree to cut, what's this. No. Just understand the broad concept. That a setback, a trimming of the tree, a cutting, a reduction, always precedes growth. Always. Some way, shape, or form. Maybe a little branch, it may be a big branch, maybe a little cut, maybe a huge cut. But always, again, another necessary factor to development. Exposure, dark room, and cutting, trimming. Think about it. Think about all this stuff in your life. You thought it was the worst thing that happened, and then it led to something better. You thought those people were your best friends. Then something happened. And then you came in and then you're like, wow, if those people were still in my life, it would have been crazy. Some of you had to make hard decisions. It's not like people screwed you over. You know, you had to get up and say, hey, it just isn't, it's not going to work. This isn't for me. Whatever it may be, like your business partner, some of you saying divorce, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, anything. It doesn't matter. But that trim, there has to be a trimming. And then you'll also notice too, some people don't trim. And you see it. They're doing the same thing, hanging with the same people, doing the same thing, same habits, same lifestyle. They never want to aim higher. Honestly, you guys think I hate weed. I don't. I really, really don't hate weed. I'm the exact opposite. But some of y'all need to trim that tree. Why? Because it's the same thing. You're the same person on that. You go cut something back. You could keep smoking, but cut back your desire to identify with it so we could keep growing. You're bigger than that. You're not a bush. You're not a little nug. You see what I'm saying? You're going to grow bigger. Everybody. So it's a big concept, though. You see it all across people who, when you see the trimming or not, but it just sucks. It's like the human emotion stuff we talked about yesterday. It just sucks. The tree trimming sucks. The cutback sucks. And again, the other concept, I've shared this with you. The other concept is good and bad happens at the same time. A lot of you don't understand that. But it happened. They grow at the same time. That's the parable in the Bible. You guys remember that? Farmer's planting his field. And then an enemy comes in and plants a bunch of bad seed amongst the good seed. And then they notice it and they're like, whoa. They're like, farmer guy, we just noticed there's a bunch of weeds with all of our crops. Should we rip them out and pull them out? And the farmer says no. He says, let them both grow up at the same time. And then when they're fully grown, we're going to cut them up and separate them and put the bad ones in the fire. Because if you try to uproot it, if you try to get rid of the bad while it's growing with the good, what's going to happen? You're going to uproot the whole damn thing and all of your crops are dead. Good and bad is going to grow at the same time. Most of you noticed. You started doing good at trading. You started doing good at life, whatever it is. I'm sure something popped up at the same time at the worst moment. More often than not. Or maybe sometimes you're doing really bad and life is not going good. But then all of a sudden, I can't believe I got that check. I can't believe that person. I can't believe all of this stuff. The good and bad grow at the same time. But you have to let them both develop. See the development process? You can't trim the tree if the tree is one branch. So both good and bad is going to grow. Some of that stuff that was with you for a long time, you're not going to know if it's good or bad until it's fully grown and separated. But then at that point, you have to cut. You have to make the decision. Okay, and this isn't a philosophy to tell you guys, cut off your friends, cut off your family, go break up with this person, go do this. The decision you made was right. That's not what I'm saying. This goes way deeper than that. This isn't about whatever personal situation you're dealing with right now. I promise you. Okay? Don't misinterpret this. This is understanding growth and development because I'm speaking even a longer term goal for you too. We're not just talking about what just happened. We're not talking about what happened last week, month, year, or anything. No, we're talking about the development of life. We're talking about how you're going to become a real success, real wealth. We're talking really what it's going to get to. And it's not going to that tree is going to take time. It's going to take time to develop, but you're going to have to understand this development process. Okay, at every moment. As to not overexpose yourself. As to not try to cut the branches too early or avoid cutting. Or trying to do it too early. Or getting pissed off that the room is dark and that you don't see what you want to see because you're still developing. So, good and bad is going to grow at the same time. But you should embrace this concept and hopefully you like it. Because now it helps you understand stuff. Understand what's going on. I encourage you to try to understand it. And sometimes you won't. the cutting precedes growth. Good and bad is going to grow up at the same time. You're going to separate it. You need a little bit of darkness to develop. Overexposure is going to ruin the picture. That's it. Simple as that. So I hope it helps you guys. I really, really do. I love it. It's been great. I mean, it's going to be challenging. Again, any sort of cutback, any sort of dark. Again, when you don't, it's more difficult if you don't know. That's why I hope this really does help you. Because if you have the awareness and knowledge to know, and again, this isn't like, isn't it funny? Like, these are words that I'm telling you. These are words written 2,000 years ago in the Bible. But go look at a damn tree. You know how it works. Go look at the earth. Don't look at me. Don't look at the Bible. Go look. The tree is the roots. Some of you grow weed. Go do the same thing. It's the same thing. It all applies. Develop a picture. Expose those. These are real world concepts. These aren't. It's the same. So I hope you guys are able to grasp it. Really. I hope that's why I just like be positive with it throughout all of it. But now you know. So if now you know, it's not hitting you different. It's not hitting you worse than when you didn't know. Now, some people, they have people in their family die, people get murdered, all of this stuff, and it haunts them. But once they find out and they get that close, they're like, oh, this person did it. I know why they did it, or this, whatever. That's it. That's what they needed. Sometimes just the knowledge. What you don't know is worse. So, I don't know your situation. I really, really don't, but I know how development works. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you have to know and keep that on your mind. Be positive about that. Know what's coming your way. That's it. And if you don't doubt it. You're like, oh, it's never going to happen. If you tell yourself it's not. There's a different type of person, man. I'm telling you. When you're like, I don't care. It's going to happen. This is what it's going to be. I'm going to keep thinking about it. You guys want to go to the gym? Keep thinking about the gym. You want credit spreads? Keep thinking about credit spreads. You want to know God? Keep thinking about God. It's all in your head. You become what you think about. So I rebuke any doubt, but use that in your development process now. You know more. That's it. What I'm telling you, this philo is the parts of life. It's just like options. You know how credit spreads work now if you've been here long enough. You know the max risk. You know what could happen with assignments. You know this. You're not going to go and make a stupid, you see what I'm saying? You're not going to trade like someone who doesn't know. Like, Josh, what's this? What should I do? Nah. You know. So now you know. So, amen. Being pruned is actually a good thing in the process. It's a good thing in the long run. It hurts in the process. Amen. But that's what I'm trying to say. Understanding through knowledge of this could go a long way. It could avoid us trying to ruin our pictures because the room was dark. And we thought the darkness was scary as opposed to understanding that we're being kept in this room to develop. And honestly, when that time is right, that you are going to get your exposure. I promise you. You are going to get exposed when the time is right. You have to have faith in that. That's why you stay ready. Because that's it. Once your number's called, it's called, bro. So now that dark room shouldn't be scary. You got cut. People did this. People did that. You didn't get this. You lost this. You made a mistake here. It hurts. Oh, I know. Believe me. But it's leading to something bigger than that. Than anything. The pain will always be smaller. I've noticed that. It's crazy. But just stay in there. Just understand it. That's all. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Only call to action I could give you is understand this and don't forget it. That's it. That's what's going to save you. Just knowing the process of how it works. Again, knowing the system. Knowing how gravity works. Knowing, again, you see it in the world. I'm not even speaking crazy biblical to you. Go develop a picture without it. Give me a physical picture without it. Go plant the tree. Don't prune it. Don't put it in good soil. You see, and don't put the seed underground. You know the seed has to be dark too. You guys know that, right? You need darkness during, man, they don't want to hear this. Because this is all around you. So you know how it works. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. But I hope you're positive, man. Because some of you, this should be really exciting. And that's why I love sharing this with you. And that's why, remember, that's how I started all of this. Because I didn't go watch this back over again. You'll see what I started this out with. Because I said I'm so excited about this now. Because I'm more aware of this now. And I know how to handle it way, way better than I ever have in my life. That's why I'm like, yes. Oh, I'm going to get hyped, baby. Because that's exciting. Because anytime I've been there, oh, I hated it. You see what I'm saying? Or I just didn't understand. Or it would lead to other questions. It could be tossed and turned and leave me this. Oh. No. It's just understanding it better. So now I'm seeing the trees get trimmed. I'm seeing the development rooms. I'm seeing where mine is, and I'm just like, oh man. Is my time coming? I got to get ready. It's for all of you. Some of you guys know that. Some of your card is going to get pulled before mine. Some of yours is going to happen after me. Who knows? But man, it's exciting. Man, it's exciting. Especially if we know how to handle it. Especially when you know it's coming. I told you about a cuckening a month ago. It sucked. It was boring. We still lost and made money, but isn't that funny? You knew about it. That fact of knowing about the cuckening saved 50% of the stress. Because after a week, you were like, okay. Yeah, okay. You had an expectation. Even if it wasn't what you liked. You would have loved it to go up. You would have loved it to go down. It doesn't matter if you made money or lost money. The end of the day, the fact that you knew what was happening, you expected it, and it was actually coming to fruition, that's all that mattered to a degree. It saved you half of the stress. And then you were like, oh, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, it bounced, this and that. Prevented you from going too hard on stuff. It's interesting. So it's what you know, man. And I'm really excited about it. Because once you know the process and you have that, whew, it's beautiful. And I hope all of you had that, and I'm excited because I know, like I said, I'll double down on call, triple down anything. I know where you guys are headed. I know what we have in here, and I know where some of you are, and I wish I could understand the scope of everybody's life and where they're at, but I can't. But I know that the time is coming for different people at different stages. And some of you are going to need this, and you already went through the trimming. Now you're going to go to something else. Some of you just got put in the development room, whatever it is. But you got to be ready for this so you could do the great things. I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody is in here. And that's it. You got to know how it works. And if it's in your mind and you understand it, it's going to be easy to stick to the plan and follow through. The long-term portfolio is way easier to follow if you've been doing it for a year. Way easier for people to want to do it because they've seen it done for a year. That's it. You got to understand it. Woo! So, that is your philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope it helps. God bless you all. To God be the glory. But keep it positive. Remember the factors of development. Put a smile on your face, baby, and just be excited, man. Be excited. And your mind controls it. So let's get it, baby. But that is your philo. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Second link for the nightly Watchlist main channel. First link for the Scream Alerts boot camp and real estate course. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity.